decided to take a look at the criminal code, which is a law that governs criminal law in Nigeria. And today I'm looking at chapter 3 of the criminal code, which deals with application of criminal law. So under this chapter, I'm looking at the a situation where a person commits an offense against the law of a state. Now, laws are meant to be obeyed, and laws come with sanctions where there is a breach of the provisions of any law. When states make laws, they intend that those laws should be complied with. And where there is non-compliance with the provisions of those laws, there is bound to be punishment or punishment as the case may be. So today I'm looking at an offense that has several ingredients or several elements. Now, when these laws are made by a state, it applies to everybody within that state. Okay, so where the doing of an act or an omission to do a particular act constitutes an offense, whether the person did that act within the state or elsewhere, the person will be bound by the provision of this law. Now, in looking at this situation, the criminal code creates two separate scenarios. Number one is where the act or the omission to do an act constitutes the initial element of an offense. Maybe the beginning part of that offense was committed within the state. The person who committed that act or the person who omitted to do that act will be liable to the same punishment as if he did all the other elements of that act within the state. Okay, so another scenario is where the other elements that make up that offense were committed or done or omitted to be done elsewhere other than that particular state. But maybe after a while, the person now comes back to the state. The law says that he or she will be liable to the same punishment as if those other elements were also done within the state. But in a situation where a person is accused of such commission of an offense against the law of his state, he or she can put up a defense that, look, I did not intend that this thing that I have done or omitted to do will have effect in the state. Another situation is when we are also talking about the death of a person. This principle of law that we have talked about will not apply in two different categories. One is where the death of a person did not take place when the person was within the state. The person died, but the person did not die when he or she was within the state. Number two is where the material cause that led to the person's death happened elsewhere. It did not occur in the state. In these two instances, the provision of this law will not apply. Now, like I promised myself that once I learn something new, as I keep discovering, I'll be bringing them to your screen. Because when you live your life on the know, when you gain knowledge, you can take better and rational decisions. You can make better choices. Now, a look at this law will just tell you that, look, it is not enough to tell yourself that, look, I did not actually take part in doing the act or making the omission that constitutes the whole offense. Bearing in mind that it is an offense that has several elements, you now tell yourself, I only did the initial part of it. That will be immaterial when you are looking at the provision of the criminal code in relation to this very topic. Okay, but what is important is that the law will look at the nature, the kind of offense. Is it the one that has several elements that you must put together to constitute that offense? The law will look at, is this the beginning part that you can say, okay, this is an initial process in doing this act that constitutes this offense, or in making this omission that constitutes this offense. The law will also look at the situation, okay, apart from the initial parts, there are also other parts. This act that you have done, this omission that you have made, Does it constitute other aspects that constitute this offense? These are questions that the law must put forward and consider them one after the other. So once all of these qualify as answer to the question that yes, it is an offense that has several aspects, and these aspects or elements have all been done or omitted to have been done, you will not be able to escape the provision of the law. Like I said, I'll keep bringing you premium legal tips here on this platform. And if this hits your screen, this is me keeping my own part of the deal. Yours is to watch, share, and like. You can also drop your comments in the comment section. If you have questions, you can drop your questions as well, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. This is Xavier Law Essence. This is where we give you premium legal tips to help you make informed decisions, live informed life, and discover the best version of yourself. We'll see you again.